All right. Start with the injury report. Blake Cashman. He will not participate today. He'll be out for the game with a hamstring. Crowder will not practice today with the groin. It's not looking great for Sunday. Connor McDermott. He's missed. He's tried, but he's got an on COVID illness. So he won't participate today in practice. He'll be questionable for the game. Uh, Bradley with the shoulder won't practice. He'll be out for the game. And then Perryman with the concussion, he won't participate. He'll be out for the game. Limited, Gore with the hand, Josh Andrews with the shoulder, Ficken with the groin, and then Jordan Jenkins with the ribs and shoulder. As far as Ficken goes, we'll find out really more today. Today's the day where we'll actually be able to get him in kind of some realistic kicking situations. So we should have, a better idea where he's at after today.
Adam, with the Crowder injury, it seems like it's back and forth almost. It seems like sometimes there's encouraging things and sometimes there's not. Could you just be specific? I mean, obviously it's a groin. Is this something that may need further like surgery to repair it? It seems like it's really been nagging him for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, Rich, I really felt good yesterday when we were in practice. He was limited. We were trying to put him in a position to where we could figure out where he was at. I felt like he felt confident. When I spoke to him on Monday and Tuesday, he felt really good. Like, I'm going to be good. Like, I'll do the stuff with the strength coaches on Wednesday, Thursday, I'll be good to go. And we limited everything he did, whether it's individual, or team periods. And there was some times where I felt like he looked really good. And then there was a part of practice where he was like, hey, I'm feeling it a little bit. And then after practice, when I talked to him with the trainer, it just, we were going to see how I felt today. And then obviously he doesn't feel as good as we were hoping.
It's difficult facing this team anyway, but now without probably two of your top three receivers, how much more difficult is it?
Those are the things you can't really control. I know it's a great opportunity for Mims in his second game, getting Jeff Smith, Barrios, Vincent. Maybe we'll be able to elevate one of these practice squad guys. It's probably harder for Sam than anybody because it's just a different group out there. But, I look at it as it's a great opportunity for a lot of dudes.
Adam, how much could you guys use a lift from your special teams, from especially the return units? It feels like you haven't gotten much out of them this season.
It's like last week. It's, we weren't in those kind of field position to where we had an opportunity for returns. They went for it. They kicked field goals. We have to find out. This is where the complementary football becomes real. Of one, when we have opportunities in offense, moving the ball, pinning them back, keeping them back. And so now when they punt, we actually have return opportunities. And we haven't had that this year. We haven't been able to put that together. It's happened occasionally, but not enough. The kickoff return unit, I feel like we have had at least some returns because, teams are either mortaring us or, they're not kicking out of the back of the end zone. And with Ty back there, I feel like anytime he touches the ball, like, who knows what's going to happen. We've seen enough for him to realize that his speed is real. And, we had a couple opportunities last week where, we take a different angle on a couple blocks, we might spring them. So I feel like that unit's coming along. I think the punt return unit just hasn't had enough opportunities. Would it help if we got some kind of, block or something to where, we could get things like change the momentum of the game? That would be ideal. But it's just those opportunities haven't really been there.
Any more for Coach?
Just on the guy you picked up the other day, Deshawn Hall, where is he physically now?
I don't think he's going to be around till Monday.
Oh, because he's going through the protocols and everything. Okay.
With Fick and Adam, there's obviously the chance that with a soft tissue issue like that it could act up in the game. Would you consider keeping 2 kickers active on Sunday as just in case something acts up there with Sam?
I think that would be hard for where we're at right now because we have so many guys we have enough guys that are injured and with the inactives, I think that would be tough to do to have them both up. I think it's either one or the other.
Adam, we talk about their offense a lot, but what stands out to you about their defense? You touched on Chris Jones yesterday, but what else about their defense stands out?
They have great speed. They do a lot on, schematically, which makes it tough. Like good players on top of a variety of scheme stuff. That's always a recipe for, a fun week for an offensive staff. Their linebackers. It's like all these guys that nobody talks about that are really good players. They play well as a group. The linebackers are fast flow. They're really good tacklers. I think that's the thing that that stands out to me so much is if a guy does break through that line, they get the ball carrier down. Like you don't see 2-3 missed tackles per play, on some of these runs. It's like the first guy that makes contact, he gets them down. I think the safeties do a good job of tackling as well. They do a good job of disguising. The corners are good when they press and they're playing, whether it's man or some kind of middle field open zone, but they're pressing those corners. Those guys are hard to get off the releases. They understand what they have up front. They use that to their advantage. They know they can be super aggressive because the ball's got to come out because that quarterback's not going to have all day back there. So these guys play to their strengths really well. And I think they play very well as a unit.
You talked about the other day that you talked to Quinn and, when those trade rumors came up and just how tricky is that this time of year? Guys' names come up. You went through it last year and obviously it didn't go well with Jamal, how he handled it. Just how tricky is that when you have guys who are 22, 23 years old that might hear their names out there?
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough situation because, a lot of times I feel like I'm going to talk to these guys and, the first time I'm hearing it is when somebody says, hey, this is reported, it's not true. And majority of the time, I'm going to know that if something's going on. So that's the first time I'm hearing about it, that's when you're going, I know it's not true. So, I mean, the lines of communication that are good, like Joe, if anything was ever going down, Joe's going to give me a heads up. Like somebody's not just going to be traded one day and shock everybody. So, when you got to go to tell a guy, you just have to be honest with them. You have to have the trust in your players. When you speak to them, they know you're telling the truth, and everybody says the right thing. Hey, it's a business stuff, but that's sometimes harder for guys to hear, especially when you're young. My conversation with Quinn was great. I didn't think he took offense to anything. I think he was just, I think he was happy the way that it was communicated to him that none of that was true, and then his agent as well.
Any more for Coach?
Adam, just one more on Crowder. Is IR being discussed?
No, it has not.
Okay.